G, how you feeling, big dog?
I'm feeling good. I always feel good. We got great fans in here. Right? There's some fans in blue I'm not too happy
You're not
to
too
see.
happy about?
But everybody else is good.
Everybody good? Okay, you want to know who is great? Patrick Mahomes. He won his second NFL MVP award yesterday. Give him the respect he deserves. But Shady, Jalen Hurts was an All-Pro.
Yes, he was. And it's hard to do.
It's hard to do. Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, two of the best, if not the best, quarterbacks in the game. But, Dave, they both got a lot to gain. Mahomes can end up being the Tom Brady of the generation and just put leaps and bounds between him and everybody else. But if Jalen Hurts wins, miraculously, him and Patrick Mahomes got the same number of Super Bowl wins. Crazy as it sounds. So, Dave, let me come to you and ask, who in the world has more to gain in this game? Is it Jalen Hurts or is it Patrick Mahomes?
I'm about to say something that's going to sound kind of mean, and I'm sorry. Jalen Hurts could win this game, and it won't put him on Patrick Mahomes' level. Like, that's cool. You've got the same number of Super Bowls, 2 MVPs, Hall of Fame pace. Like, Patrick Mahomes is going to the Hall of Fame. I feel no hesitation to say that right now, before he's played this game, before he's turned 30 years old. He's there. If there's a team in the league that I'm confident is going to be back in this game, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. They traded away Tyreek Hill. Like, they purposefully took a step back and said, you know what? We can't afford this. We got to retool. We're going to get some younger receivers. We're going to spend a little bit less money. And they're still in this game. I think they'll be back. Patrick Mahomes is going to the Hall of Fame. Even if he doesn't win this game, he's going to have other opportunities. I say all that to say Jalen Hurts has so much more to gain. He does. I mean, at the end of the day, we all think, we've talked about this a number of times, he's earned his contract with Philadelphia. He's going to be the quarterback of the Eagles moving forward. Yep. But he's just not on that level of footing. Nobody in football is. Like, we spent the year trying to make it Josh Allen. We tried to make it Joe Burrow for a little while. Jalen Hurts is the second-team All-Pro. He deserves respect for that. But nobody is in Patrick Mahomes' stratosphere. He doesn't need, he would love to win this game, and it would do even more for his resume if he did. He doesn't need to win it to prove anything else in my eyes. Jalen Hurts, first of all, only one Eagles team in history has won the Super Bowl, so that is a thing unto itself. Like, he will be a legend in Philly forever if he wins this game. I think he has so much more to gain than Patrick Mahomes, just because the resume is just not as concrete. Like I said, I can say all that stuff about Pat definitively right now. We don't know where Jalen Hurts' career is going. Carson Wentz looked like he was going to be the quarterback in Philly for decades or more, and we know how that turned out. So nothing is guaranteed other than that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the world. Sorry.
Joy, where you stand? Who has more to gain in this game?
I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts also for a lot of the reasons that Dave mentioned. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes' resume is solidified at this point moving forward. He's just building on his legacy. And we do have that feeling that he will be back and they'll be competitive for a long time, which, windows don't last forever, but it feels like that way with Kansas City. Also, as you guys know, the Eagles do business a little aggressively. Howie is going to do what's best for the team, and sometimes that means he's going to play hardball. It is a lot easier if you're Jalen Hurts to say, I deserve to be paid a certain amount and I'm the future of this organization if you win a Super Bowl. Yeah. Because as hard as it is to be an All-Pro, it's harder to win a Super Bowl. Yeah. And it's harder to move off of someone who has won a Super Bowl, who is in the space that Jalen Hurts is in. If the Nick Foles run was obviously a great run, but Jalen has been here for 3 years now. He's getting better every single year. He's building into a franchise quarterback. If he adds a Super Bowl to his resume, it will be much harder for them to move on from him. I don't think that they will want to move on from him. And it will validate this season for him as being something consistent and being something that's real, even though he's still being doubted.
2-5, more to gain.
More to gain, I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes. I think that if Jalen Hurts, we've seen how the development from last year to this year, they're like two different players. Yeah. I think he hasn't even seen his ceiling yet. He'll get better and better and better due time. Patrick Mahomes is our heir of Tom Brady. Tom Brady leaves, Patrick Mahomes is here now. If he wins this game, right, first of all, he'll be an elite company. Yep. It's only been 3 quarterbacks in history to have multiple MVPs and multiple championships. He'll be with Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana.
That's
and
a nice list.
I'm all about legacy. I'm all about resume. We talk about a lot of players. Oh, he's good, he's good. What's his resume? I think if he can go out here and win this game, you're already an MVP, right? Then you get a championship. That's two championships. In 3 years, what is it? He's been in 3 Super Bowl appearances. That's crazy. So just on the legacy part, I think if Patrick Mahomes can go out there and win this game for his legacy, he has the most to gain.
I love it. I love it. Well, look, we never get to do shows in front of a live audience. So I knew all y'all's answers. We prepped before the show. But I don't yet know y'all's answers. So if Patrick Mahomes has more to gain, can I hear some noise? Okay. If Jalen Hurts has more to gain, can I hear some noise? Okay, so the audience has said it is Jalen Hurts, and I like that answer. I will actually side with my dog, my teammate forever, LaShawn Shady McCoy. I think it's Patrick Mahomes. I think it's Patrick Mahomes because Dave said something brilliant when we were still in Los Angeles before we came out here, and he said this, that there's usually one quarterback a generation that ascends into a crazy stratosphere. Whether Joe Montana, whether Aikman, based on rings, Tom Brady, there's usually like a quarterback that just transcends everybody else based on rings, on rings. We don't have to talk about talent based on rings. But if Patrick Mahomes is going to become that quarterback, he's got to become that quarterback based on rings. Like, we have to remember, there's a fine line, and no shot intended, but there is a very fine line between Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers got 4 MVPs, but he got 1 Super Bowl ring.
Right.
Now, the real dilemma is he only went to 1. That hurts a lot. But if Mahomes doesn't win this ring, now we'll be talking about a whole bunch of appearances. But you got to have a whole lot to show for it. Shady, how many Super Bowls did you go to?
2.
How many wins did you have?
2.
Shady went to 2, and he won 2.
He
went to 2.
Thanks to Mahomes. Thanks to Brady.
But it matters. Because he could have gone to 2 and had no ring. Right. So it's not just about going for Patrick Mahomes. If Patrick Mahomes is going to become that person, Dave, he has to become that person, and you can only become that person by winning.
He's 27. I get it. I get what you're saying. And look, we thought Rodgers would be back. Like, everybody thought that. Nothing is guaranteed, but I'll take the track record. Again, Patrick Mahomes has put together a Hall of Fame caliber resume. Like, there aren't that many people in the history of the sport that have won MVPs with an S. With an S. Like, that's really hard to do. And again, I'll say it one more time. He's 27 years old. I feel very comfortable banking on him to do this again, whether it's next year, 3 years from now. We haven't seen the last of Patrick Mahomes on this stage. Everything you just said is right. Like, he has a lot to gain from this. But he's going to be quarterback in Kansas City well into his 30s. He's going to be one of this generation's best, if not the best. I think, again, I'm done listening to anybody talking about any other quarterback until somebody does something. Like, somebody else win the Super Bowl before I'm worried about anybody that's not Patrick Mahomes.
I push back a little bit on just, like, if he don't win this game, he's still that right now. I don't believe that. I think, especially knowing Patrick Mahomes, like, he's a competitor, right? I remember when I first got to Kansas City, and they were talking about, at the time, it was still Aaron Rodgers was still at the top and Tom Brady. And Pat said, I'm QB1. I'm like, oh, he has a little dog in him. And I say that to say this, like, he looks to go out there and get 2 rings, 3 rings, 4 rings. He's not chasing Joe Burrow and Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. He's chasing Tom Brady. That's how he thinks. So when I talk about just who has more to gain, it's got to be Patrick Mahomes because of the resume. We won't see another Patrick Mahomes, I don't know, 20 years, 25, 30. You won't. We won't see another Tom Brady for another 20, 30 years. So now that we actually have a guy in this era that's going to carry it, it's got to be Patrick Mahomes. It's
got to be Pat. Joy, you heard what Shady said. You heard what Dave said. Where do you stand in regards to the fact that if Patrick Mahomes doesn't win all the MVPs and all the regular season awards, he still only has 1 ring, albeit it is only at the age of 27. Where do you stand there?
I just think that they're set up for longevity. They're set up to be a dynasty. I don't like to take for granted being at the Super Bowl and given the opportunity to win that. That does matter. We always think that these great teams are going to go on in perpetuity, and it never really actually works out that way. But they are set up that way. Andy Reid's going to be there for a while. Travis Kelce's going to be there for a while. They're going to continue to mess with the lineups and bring in different players to put around him and rework his contract so they can sign more players. It's just, you have to trust the organization in the way that they do things. So it gives me more peace to know that that's the situation. Now, he may never go back. We don't know. These opportunities are fleeting. But I'm going to lean towards, as Dave said, the resume, the track record when it comes to him being able to do that again and continue to build on what he's already done. I anticipate he'll win another MVP in his career, and I anticipate that they'll be going back to more Super Bowls or another Super Bowl. But if he's going to be in Tom Brady's space, I hear what you're saying as far as him having more to gain when it comes to legacy. But I think Jalen has to take a step to even establishing that legacy and winning this game.
There's something I'm very, very interested in. Shady, we was at dinner last night, and Shady, he liked to debate. I'll tell you this. If you ever around LaShawn McCoy,
Does he?
you better be ready for a debate.
I like the debate. I win debates. That
Oh.
sounds.
Y'all see what I got to do
I
with
think
it?
he proved your point.
Every day. Hey, exactly. Shady, I'm going to ask you a question off the top. Dave Hellman, get ready for it as well before we go to commercial break. This is a question I'm incredibly interested in. The Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And they've proven themselves to be able to win with a lesser talented skill positions. We don't have to talk about the roster, but lesser talented skill positions.
Okay.
But the Eagles, Shady, as you know better than anybody, their roster is stacked.
Loaded.
Jalen Hurts is in year 3. Shady, let me come to you first. Who do you believe is set up more going forward? Clearly, we got a huge game in 2 days. But both of these teams look to be set for the future as well. Chiefs, Eagles. Who do you think set up more going forward?
Going forward, one thing about Andy Reid and Brett Veach, who's the GM, they draft very well. All his players that he has, he drafted them players. So I think going forward, it might be the Chiefs, but the Eagles is loaded. They don't have to draft. They're ready now. And then Jalen Hurts, he gets so much criticism, right? Oh, he's not throwing the ball, they run the ball all the time. He's getting better. Last year, I didn't believe it. We can't win with this guy. He's just throwing picks. And then he got better and better and better. That shows you the development. He's your coach's son. So most coaches' sons, they wire different mentally. He's a leader. He's so young. I got to go with the Eagles, man. Howie Roseman, he dressed well. And he's going to trade wherever he got to trade to get a win.
Whatever, whoever.
I go Eagles.
And whoever. And he's going to cut whoever he got to cut. Whoever he got to cut to get a win.
Hey, yo, look. Oh, he did cut. Oh, he did cut you.
5 times.
But it wasn't a 6. Always positive. He cut
It
you
was-
5 times, but it wasn't a 6.
But it wasn't
Come on,
6.
baby.
Dave Hellman, very, very, very quickly. Dynasty, not dynasty. Who's more set up for the future?
It's the Chiefs. They've got Patrick Mahomes already. He gave them a sweetheart deal, by the way. Like, Patrick Mahomes is going to look, so he's already cheap compared to what he's worth. He's locked in. They got here after trading Tyreek Hill. Like, we know they can do this. I think the Eagles have this game, big opportunity, and they've got one more season where they'll look like this. But then what happens? The quarterback gets paid. And when the quarterback gets paid, it is hard to keep a team together. Devontae Smith is going to want his. You got Miles Sanders coming up. You got
Hargrave.
Darius Slay and Javon Hargrave are free agents as soon as this game is over.
Oh, that's
it's hard to keep this stuff together, especially when your quarterback is young and needs a contract. Patrick Mahomes already got his money, and the Chiefs are here again. Like I said, nothing. You can't take anything for certain. I'm very comfortable guessing we'll be talking about the Chiefs in another Super Bowl.
It all kicks off Super Bowl Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.